Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make an advanced GFX. So I'll be going over some more techniques such as glossy, glass, and multiple rigs, and just stuff like that in your GFX. First, go into Roblox Studio and import your character, room, and props to baseplate. First, I'm going to be editing their avatars just a little bit. So for mine, I'm going to be removing the hair because we're going to put on a new wig. And I'm going to be removing some of the accessories and the face. So to remove the face, go under head and then just click the face and remove. But if you want to have a different face, go onto the Roblox website and then go to the avatar shop, and now just look up your face. So let's say I want the super happy face. So click it and then copy the link using Control-C or Command-C depending on your computer. Now go back into Roblox Studio. Then click face and make sure that properties are open, and then under texture press Control-V. Now your face should pop up. There's another way. You can go into images and make sure that this face is removed, so you can just press delete and enter. Let's say I want the mermaid face. Let's say I want this rainbow one. Click it and then drag it onto your face and it should show up. I'll be back in a moment when I've finished editing the avatars. Also, if you want to change the clothes, it's very similar to how you change the face. Just go into your avatar under Explorer, click pants, I want to change that, and then on Roblox, look up some pants that you want. So I chose these from Skater Trash, and click the link, Control-C or Command-C, and then paste it into the pants option. You can also do this for a shirt, but if there isn't one available, click plus next to the avatar's name, and click shirt, and then repeat the process for the shirt. And there you go, that's how you change the clothes. Now, how to add a wig. First, you want to go under Toolbox, press Models, and look up wig or hair, either one works. Now we can just try and find one that we like. Sometimes it takes a while. It really just depends on what you're looking for. So after you found a wig that you might want to use, just place it onto your avatar, and now you can just save the avatars with the wig. So if you want to click things together, just click your username and then press Command and then click the other one, or you can press Control, either one. Now we can import our room and edit it as we please. I'm going to use one that I recently made, and you guys can use it too. You can see it in my inventory, or you can look it up under graffiti wall or my username in Roblox Studio. Lastly, I'm just going to import some props. I think I want a jacket and then some things that we can maybe add some textures or different textures to, which I'll show you guys in a minute. So I'll be right back after I start importing some props, saving them, and we will be in Blender. Now that I have Blender open and my rig up, I can start importing the avatar. So if you want to open up Blender and automatically have the rig open, all you have to do is just go to File in the top left corner and then click Save Startup File. And this will make the current file open up as soon as you open up Blender. So if you press Save Startup File and then close the Blender and then open it again, then the rig should pop up, see? Now let's just go ahead and remove the head. Before we import the texture, we want to add another rig for our other avatar. So what you can do is press B on your keyboard, click and drag to select the whole entire avatar. Now we want to do this because we will soon copy and paste it so it can be another rig. And make sure that this rig is selected as well as the body parts, and it should all highlight in orange. Next, click Command-C or Control-C on your keyboard, and then press Control-V. And now this should be what it looks like. Drag the rig to the side, and then before we delete all this junk, we can click this, which will automatically move the entire avatar. And now let's just remove all this junk over here because we don't need it. Okay, this works on both Blender 2.79 and Blender 2.82 or whatever the newest version is. So now I'm just gonna quickly import the texture, and I'll be back when everything is imported. Now that I have my GFX set up, we can start working on the textures. First, I'm going to be adding texture to this little jacket. First, I'm going to show you guys how the materials look on cubes. So let's press Shift A, hit cube, and then move it into position. First, we're going to be taking a look at the glassy texture. Under the material icon on your right, hit new. Then, under surface, hit diffuse, and this list should pop up. I'm going to be hitting glass. Now we can change the color of the glass, so I think we're gonna go for a nice blue tone. And I would probably use a lighter tone of blue just because when it's darker, it's harder to see through the glass. Now we can see that the cube is see-through, or almost see-through, with a tint of blue. And we can even change the colors, so see if we do a darker blue, it becomes a little less see-through. Now we'll be looking at the glossy texture. So again, hit the cube, under material icon, press new, and this time we're gonna change it to glossy. So now let's just change the color, and we're gonna change it to a nice little pink. And we can't see the color right now because we're not in material mode, but if we were, this is what it would look like. Glossy textures look much better on an actual object, so it'll look better when I show it on something else. But you can actually see that there's a reflection, which is what's supposed to happen when you hit glossy, but it just depends on the settings that you make. I'm gonna show you how to change the color of an item, and it's very similar to all the other ones. So again, we're gonna look at this cube, press new, and then we're just gonna change the color to, how about a green? Now, if we go into material mode, this should pop up. Lastly, we're gonna see how to make an object glow. So again, hit new and hit emission. It's going to be a light source. So if we go into rendered, we can see that it's much brighter than all the other ones. And if we change the strength to, let's go crazy and do 10. Look, then it's not that crazy, but it's much brighter. But if I turn off ambient occlusion, just to show you guys an example, look how much brighter it is. I forgot about one last thing. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to make a mirror. Again, let's press new and then click principled BSDF. Now let's change the metallic to 1 and make sure that roughness is at 0. So if we take a look at our little mirror here, there we have it. So those are all of the textures I have to show you guys today, but there are obviously many more. So if you do want a more detailed video on textures, let me know. Now we're gonna apply these textures to the actual GFX. Now in today's video, I'm only gonna be using the glossy texture and the glass texture. Now let's actually apply the textures to the GFX. So first, what I'm gonna do is change this little jacket to glass. And I know that sounds kind of weird. I really do like to be creative with the textures. So all you have to do is click on the item, but before, as these boxes didn't have any texture before the glossy glass effect, we're actually going to have to remove the texture that it has right now. So all you have to do, make sure you're under the material icon and click X. Now I'm going to hit plus, and we're just gonna do the same thing as we did with the square. See, so now the coat is actually looking very see-through, but you can also change how rough the glass is, which basically means how see-through it is. So if I put 1, then it's gonna be a little denser. So I would recommend just leave it at 0. So now I'm just gonna quickly apply the texture to this jacket, and I'll be right back. So I just finished applying the glass texture to the little jacket, and as you can see, it's more see-through than it was before, because, well, before it was solid. Next, we're gonna be applying the glossy texture to the car. Now, it's gonna be a little bit of a lot just because the car is very big, but I'm probably only gonna be covering 1/2 because there's only about 1/2 that you can actually see. So I'm just gonna go over how I make one part of the car glossy, and then I'll speed up the rest. I've noticed that already some parts of the car are grouped up, so it's not gonna be that much, but still, a little bit of a lot. So first we're just gonna press X and hit glossy, and then I'm gonna change it to maybe like a little bit of gray. There we go, not too dark, but so now let's just go into rendered mode. It's looking like a mirror, and that's not really what I was going for, so I'll fix that. But we can definitely tell the difference between the glossy parts and the non-glossy parts. So I'm just gonna turn up the roughness about half, and so now it's looking a little less like a mirror, which is exactly what I was going for. Or we can even turn it up all the way, and it is going to be darker, so, but if I turn it all the way up, then it's looking more metallic. So now I'm just gonna quickly apply that to all parts of the car, and I'll be right back. I've just finished adding the glossy texture to the car. It's looking much different than before. And also, a quick tip, when you're adding the texture, instead of just going through each and every one, removing it, and then adding glossy texture all over again, I would suggest, after you do one, just go and look up material, because most of the time it's going to be a material, and look at the most recent one. So mine is material 0.008, and click it and it will automatically show up. So I'll just give you guys a quick example. As you can see, this one part doesn't have any texture. So instead of just going to new, glossy, and then trying to get a similar texture to this one, instead we can look at this one. So we can see this material 08, and click this one and just look up material, and then it should pop up, so material 08, and then boom. I think that's all of the textures I was planning on covering, so I'm just gonna go ahead and finish the GFX, and I'll be back in a few. Okay, so I just finished the GFX, so now I'm just gonna quickly go over some types of lights. It's not gonna be very in-depth, but I just wanna show you the types of lights that I normally use and the ones that I recommend. So most of the time, I use either sun or hemi, and they're both actually really good with providing shadows, and I think they look the most realistic. So we can see how there's a shadow on the car, and if you turn up the brightness, then obviously it's gonna make the photo brighter. It just depends on how you want your GFX to look. And so if you use the sun, you can see it looks pretty much the same as the hemi in my opinion. I think it's just a little bit brighter, but other than that, it's very similar. Now there's the point. The light is more condensed, and you definitely do have to turn it up a lot. So as you can see in the preview, there's little to no light. So I'm just gonna turn up to like 100, I guess. Yeah. I'm just gonna turn up to 100 and now go into rendered. So we can see that there's only a little bit of light towards my avatar. It's not very bright, but I would recommend it if you're doing a GFX that's supposed to have a darker atmosphere. Now there's the area lamp. And this one, yeah, I do also think it's very similar to the point one. It just covers a little bit more, but it's more condensed than the other ones. I'm just gonna go with the hemi because it fits the atmosphere of my GFX. So I'm just gonna quickly reposition it, and I'll be back in a little bit. So I think that I am going to be done with this GFX. One more thing, I'm just gonna quickly show you guys how to use an HDRI. Now, I think I've covered this before, but you just have to go into this website called HDRI Haven. I totally recommend it. It's very good and it has a lot of different HDRIs. All you have to do, hit use nodes under the world icon, and then click this little circle, click environment texture, press open, go into your downloads wherever you have it saved. And as you can see in this little section over here, there's more grass and stuff, and it just adds a little bit of background. The HDRI does give off very good lighting and such, so if I actually go out, we can see how there's a sun, and in most HDRIs there's a sun, and it does give off good lighting, but it depends on which one you're using. Also, make sure that you always hit denoising. It will make your GFX look 10 times better. So that's pretty much the end of today's video. I will render it because it's satisfying. But yeah, I hope this tutorial helped you. If you do have any more questions, please leave them down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. Bye!